The afternoon sun cast long shadows across a quiet city park, the scent of fresh grass mingling with the distant hum of traffic, setting a deceptively calm scene that would soon unravel, where the rustling leaves whispered in the gentle breeze, and the world felt momentarily still. Amelia Carter sat on a bench, a cup of coffee warming her hand while her other hand scrolled through emails on her phone. The peacefulness of the moment was abruptly shattered by a sharp, commanding voice that sliced through the calm like a blade. "What are you doing here?" the voice demanded. Startled, Amelia looked up to see a tall officer, Lucas Grant, approaching with an expression that felt both cold and calculating. Confused but composed, she straightened her posture. "Excuse me," she replied calmly. "Do you belong here?" "You seem out of place," Lucas barked, his hand resting menacingly near his belt where his badge glinted under the sunlight. Amelia, familiar with such encounters but never numb to their sting, responded softly, "I'm just here for a moment." "Show me some ID," Lucas demanded, stepping closer. Her brows knitted in confusion. "ID? For what? I'm not doing anything wrong." "Loitering," he snapped. "I've seen people like you around here before." "People like me?" Amelia repeated, her voice trembling slightly. Lucas smirked, his lips curling with a sinister satisfaction as his eyes narrowed, silently daring Amelia to challenge his authority. He relished moments like this, where he felt untouchable and in control. "You know exactly what I mean." Amelia's breath hitched, but she stood her ground. "I have every right to be here." Lucas laughed bitterly. "We'll see about that." Calling in a code on his radio, Lucas's actions drew curious glances from passers-by, though none intervened. The humiliation burned within Amelia, but she remained stoic. Another officer arrived, glanced at Amelia, and hesitated. "Are you sure about this?" the second officer whispered. "I'm in charge here," Lucas retorted. Amelia, her dignity under siege, finally had enough. "I'm done with this," she stated firmly. "Oh, really? And what are you going to do about it?" Lucas sneered. With a steady gaze, Amelia replied, "Wait and see." Lucas puffed out his chest. "Cooperate or come to the station. Your choice." Unbeknownst to Lucas, his biggest mistake had just been made. Amelia Williams was not just any citizen. She was the newly appointed Deputy Chief of Police, a role she earned after years of relentless dedication. Raised in a struggling neighborhood by a single mother who worked as a teacher, Amelia faced countless challenges. She excelled in school despite limited resources, joined the police force to bring change from within, and climbed the ranks by proving her integrity and commitment. Flashbacks of late nights studying criminal law, mentoring young recruits, and confronting discrimination within the department flashed through her mind, reinforcing her resolve. A single mother who had climbed the ranks through relentless hard work, she knew every facet of the department. Raised in the city's South Side by a teacher mother, Amelia had always believed in justice and fairness. Her position wasn't handed to her. She earned it, breaking through barriers and facing constant microaggressions within the force. Today, she had stepped out for a rare moment of peace amidst the mounting tensions between the police and the community. Her efforts to build bridges were ongoing, and encounters like this reminded her why they were necessary. Lucas Grant, with over a decade in the force, had a troubling past marred by incidents of excessive force during protests, unjustified stops of minority citizens, and dismissive treatment of complaints against him. Flashbacks of Lucas intimidating a young man for recording him and harshly handling a traffic stop surfaced, highlighting his unchecked authority and making his downfall more impactful, had a history of complaints that were conveniently overlooked. His aggressive policing style was excused as old school by his superiors. To him, reforms and community engagements were mere annoyances, and Amelia, an outsider threatening the status quo. When Lucas approached Amelia in the park, his biases blinded him. The confrontation grew heated, with Amelia maintaining her composure despite the anger boiling within her. The encounter ended with Lucas feeling triumphant, unaware of the storm he had unleashed. Back at the precinct, Amelia sat in her office, reflecting on an early case where her mentor, Captain Harris, once told her, "Change starts with one brave step, Amelia. It's never easy, but it's always worth it." Those words echoed in her mind, fueling her resolve and reminding her why she fought every day, the encounter replaying in her mind. Her assistant, Carla, voiced what Amelia already knew. Lucas has been a problem for years. Amelia responded thoughtfully, her mind filled with memories of sleepless nights questioning whether she could truly make a difference, the weight of single motherhood pressing down on her. Every day I question if I'm strong enough to keep fighting, but moments like today remind me why I have to, she added. With a voice that carried the burden of her struggles and the fire of her determination, this isn't just about him. It's about the entire system. Lucas, unaware of Amelia's identity, realized too late. Over drinks with a colleague, he discovered her role, panic setting in. Meanwhile, Amelia began gathering evidence, determined to bring accountability. In a tense meeting, Amelia confronted Lucas, presenting his long history of misconduct. Placed on administrative leave, Lucas faced a reality he never anticipated. The precinct buzzed with whispers as the investigation unfolded, culminating in Lucas's termination. As the decision was announced, Lucas sat in disbelief, his mind racing through every choice that led him here. This can't be happening, he thought, clenching his fists. I gave everything to this job. Yet, a pang of guilt flickered within him as memories of his misconduct surfaced. Maybe they were right about me, he whispered to himself, the weight of his actions finally sinking in as he left the precinct for the last time. Amelia's fight didn't end there. She found strength in the overwhelming support from her community. Letters, messages, and heartfelt conversations reminded her why her work mattered. She often reflected on these moments, remembering a young girl who said, "I want to be like you one day." It fueled her determination to implement reforms within the department, ensuring accountability and rebuilding community trust. She implemented reforms within the department, ensuring accountability and rebuilding community trust. Lucas, stripped of his badge, embarked on a journey of self-reflection, volunteering to make amends. Lessons from the story. This story reminds us of the importance of accountability and authority, the courage to stand up for justice even when it's difficult, and the power of community support in creating positive change. Personal insights. This story sheds light on the harsh reality of discrimination and the importance of standing up against injustice. Amelia's strength reminds us that perseverance can lead to meaningful change, even when faced with overwhelming challenges. It also shows that those in power must be held accountable to create a fairer society. As someone who values equality and justice, I believe stories like this can inspire us to reflect on our own biases and take action in our communities. It highlights real-world issues of bias and systemic challenges, encouraging us all to reflect on our actions and advocate for fairness. My personal belief is that stories like Amelia's inspire hope and action, reminding us that even one person can make a difference. Call to action. Let's strive to be that person. If this story moved you, please subscribe to Story Precious for more touching stories with meaningful lessons. Your support helps us continue sharing narratives that educate, inspire, and spark positive change. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next story. Amelia's resilience inspires us to challenge biases and gives hope that her reforms will foster lasting positive change in the community, encouraging future generations to believe in justice and equality and advocate for fairness. Lucas's journey underscores the power of redemption and self-awareness. Let us reflect. How do our biases shape our actions? What steps can we take to foster a just society? Subscribe to Story Precious for more stories that inspire and educate. Let's create a world where fairness prevails. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next story.